네, 여러분 저희 지금부터 도시 네트워킹 이벤트 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 이번 시간에는 한국 및 아시아 태평양 지역의 5개 도시에서 발표를 할 예정입니다. Welcome to the city networking event. We'll have presentation from 5 cities from Asia Pacific in this region. 이번 세션을 이끌어갈 로레타, 히버, 쥐라데, UNDRR 제네바 본부, 재난정보 모니터링 역량개발 국장님을 모시고 진행하도록 하겠습니다. So, I'd like to introduce Ms. Loretta Hieber Girardet, Chief Risk Knowledge Monitoring and Capacity Development Branch, UNDRR, who will lead this session. Please give her a big hand.
Thank you very much. And this is the time of day that I really prefer, and that's because we get to listen to the real-life experiences of cities that are doing a tremendous amount of work to build resilience. This city networking event, it's an interactive format. It was first introduced at the International Disaster Resilience Leader Forum last year. And the idea is to provide the stage for more cities to share their DRR experiences and best practice. And we know that the way that we learn is from each other. And so this really is an opportunity for you to be inspired and to learn the lessons from other cities around the world. The first city networking event today is featuring cities from the Republic of Korea and from countries in Southeast Asia. Tomorrow, we'll have a similar event which will share the experiences of cities from South Asia and from the Democratic Republic of Congo. So let's get underway here with the very first city, which is Yongin Special City. And I'd like to invite Mr. Joonkee, who's the second deputy mayor of Yongin Special City, to come to the table. I might just mention that Yongin Special City recently joined the Making Cities Resilient campaign just this year at stage C. Has a population of over 1 million people, and we're going to hear a little bit more what the city is doing to ensure the safety of its citizens. So please, Mr. Huang, the floor is yours.
안녕하십니까. 국제재난보건력 지도자 포럼 참가자 및 내외 기빈 여러분 반갑습니다. 오늘 IDRLF 인천 2024 포럼에 참여할 수 있게 준비해 주신 UNDRR 및 인천광역시 관계자분들께 깊은 감사를 드립니다. 저는 대한민국 대표 안전도시 용인 특례시 제2부시장 황준기입니다. 이렇게 뜻깊은 자리에서 발표를 할 수 있게 되어서 매우 기쁩니다. 발표 순서는 화면과 같습니다. 용인 특례시에 대한 소개와 시정 비전, 안전정책과 안전문화 활동, 마지막으로 우리 시 재난안전 홍보 영상 시청이 되겠습니다. 먼저 용인 특례시 현황에 대해서 말씀드리겠습니다. 우리 시는 빠르게 성장하는 도농 복합도시로서 서울까지 30분 이내에 접근 가능한 교통 요충지입니다. 2022년 1월 특례시로 승격했으며 2024년 9월 인구는 110만여 명으로 반도체 산업 중심지이자 전통과 현대문화가 어우러진 교육문화 도시입니다. 산과 평야, 하천이 어우러진 지형으로 다양한 산업이 발전했으며 에버랜드와 민속촌 등 연간 수백만 명이 방문하는 관광 자원도 보유하고 있습니다. 우리 시는 도약하는 글로벌 미래 산업 도시로 40여 년 전 대한민국 반도체 산업이 처음 시작된 곳입니다. 세계 최대의 반도체 도시로 성장하기 위해서 2042년까지 총 502조 원을 투자하는 초대형 프로젝트가 진행 중에 있습니다. 이동 남사업의 226만 평 규모의 첨단 시스템 반도체 국가산업단지와 원산면의 126만 평 규모의 용인 반도체 클러스터, 또 반도체 기술 혁신 지원을 위한 기흥 미래 연구단지를 조성하면 용인은 세계 최대의 단일 반도체 생산 도시가 될 것입니다. 다음은 2050 탄소 중립 도시를 목표로 지속 가능한 녹색 성장을 추구하며 미래 세대를 위해 환경의 가치를 높이는 데 노력하고 있습니다. 또한 시민의 삶의 가치를 높이고 대한민국의 과거와 오늘을 느낄 수 있는 다양한 문화 축제와 스포츠가 어우러진 활기차고 매력적인 도시로 성장하고 있습니다. 두 번째 용인 특례시 시정 비전입니다. 함께 만드는 미래 용인 르네상스라는 슬로건으로 시민과 함께 지혜를 모아 반도체를 비롯한 산업의 융성뿐만 아니라 교통, 교육, 문화예술, 복지, 농업, 축산, 생활체육 등 모든 분야에서 질적인 변화와 양적 성장을 이루어 시민의 삶을 업그레이드하겠다는 비전을 함축하고 있습니다. 세 번째, 안전정책 및 안전문화 활동에 대해서 말씀드리겠습니다. 용인 특례시는 안전을 시정의 최우선 과제로 삼아 시민들의 안전을 위해 다양한 방안을 고민하고 있습니다. 오늘날 기후변화에 따른 자연재해와 더불어 재난안전에 대한 사회적 관심도가 높아지고 있으며 공공부문의 책임도 더욱 강조되고 있습니다. 특히 자연재해와 인재위험에 직면해 있을 때 도시의 복원력, 즉 재난으로부터 빠르게 회복하고 지속가능한 발전을 이뤄낼 수 있는 능력은 그 어느 때보다도 중요합니다. 실전과 같은 훈련은 풍수해 등 자연재난과 화재, 산불 등 사회재난 대비 훈련을 중점적으로 실시하며 재난에 대한 대응 역량을 높이고 있습니다. 용인 특례시는 현장 중심의 각종 재난 상황에서 체계적인 재난관리 체계 구축과 예방, 생활 속 안전문화 확산 등 다각적인 재난안전 정책과 전략을 발굴해서 추진해 왔습니다. 시민의 안전한 도시를 만들기 위한 1,400여 명의 시민안전 지킴이와 100여 명의 안전보안관 발대식을 갖고 안전문화 운동을 본격적으로 전개하고 있으며 지역사회와 안전문화 운동을 주도하는 역할을 수행하고 있습니다. 용인 특례시는 시민의 안전을 위해 예방 중심의 안전교육을 추진 중에 있습니다. 어린이로부터 어르신까지 생애 주기별 교육 대상자를 구분하여 다양한 분야의 맞춤형 안전교육을 확대 운영하며 안전체험 차량으로 취약계층을 찾아가는 체험 중심의 안전교육과 수상안전사고 예방을 위한 시민 생존교육, VR 실감형 기기와 콘텐츠를 활용한 몰입형 재난 대응 교육을 운영하고 있습니다. 또 용인시는 전국 최초로 주요 기관장들이 매달 만나 시의 안전 현안에 대해 격의 없이 소통하고 협력하는 정례 간담회를 진행하며 이 자리에서 아이디어를 공유하고 실효성 있는 사업으로 발전시키는 안전문화 살롱을 운영하고 있습니다. 지난 5월에는 국제연합 UNDRR에서 주관하는 기후변화와 재난에 강한 도시 만들기 MCR 2030 캠페인에 공식 가입하였으며 우리 시 시민안전 지킴이 발대식에 UNDRR 동북아 사무소장님의 축하 영상과 함께 관계자들께서 직접 우리 시에 방문하여 재난대응체제 구축 견학 및 안전문화 활동 등을 경험하였습니다. 특히 재난 및 안전관리 기본법에 따라 전국 332개 재난관리 책임기관 중 올해 전국 최초로 3년 연속 재난관리 평가 분야에서 용인시가 대통령 표창을 수행하였으며 2023년도 지역안전지수 우수지역으로 선정되었습니다. 우리 시는 세계 주요 도시와 용인 특례시의 안전정책과 활동을 널리 공유하고 함께 발전할 수 있는 국제적 안전도시로서의 위상을 높여가고 있습니다. 잠시 용인 특례시 재난안전 홍보 영상을 시청하시겠습니다.
Yongin Special City prioritizes our citizen safety, focusing all our efforts on creating a city where everyday safety is fundamental, thereby improving the quality of life for our residents. Yongin Special City is boldly investing in disaster prevention projects to protect citizens' lives and property from various types of natural disasters, and is operating a disaster management fund of $20 million this year. As a result, we have made a variety of accomplishments, emerging as a leading disaster-safe city nationwide. The Yongin City Smart City Integrated Platform connects 11,905 CCTVs installed for crime prevention, disaster management, and traffic information in real time to protect citizens' lives and property. Yongin will continue to expand the Smart City Integrated Platform to build an advanced city safety network in order to protect citizens from everyday dangers. To create a safe city together with all citizens, we have been conducting various programs to strengthen disaster response capabilities. We operate a mobile comprehensive safety experience vehicle, the first in local governments nationwide, to provide on-site safety experience classes. Advanced VR equipment has been introduced for disaster situation experience training. Citizens also participate in education programs such as CPR, fire extinguisher operation, and survival swimming. These experience education programs will lay the foundation to enhance disaster response capabilities of the entire city. For more effective citizen safety policies, we are strengthening communication and cooperation with related organizations. Collaborative response systems involving the public, private, military, police, and fire departments are firmly established against a natural or social disaster. Meetings with principals and parents of elementary, middle, and high schools have become an important meeting place to discuss a safe school environment for students. The Safety Culture Salon was first launched nationwide in December 2023. Based on the discussions at these meetings, significant results have been achieved, such as installing rooftop evacuation facilities for fire escape in all apartments and schools in the area. We will continue to collaborate with civil society and related organizations to establish an efficient disaster response governance model. To effectively respond to unpredictable and diverse disasters, Yongin Special City officially joined the Making Cities Resilient 2030 campaign last April, organized by the UN Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, UNDRR. We will dedicate all our efforts to creating a disaster-free city by promoting various tasks and cooperating with global cities. Yongin Special City will strive to become a world-class disaster safety city where citizens can enjoy their daily lives without any harm, anytime and anywhere.
최근 기후변화로 인한 집중호우와 폭염 등 우리는 이미 그 영향을 경험하고 있으며 이를 극복하기 위하여 기후변화에 대한 인식을 높이고 재난 대비와 대응 능력을 강화하고 도시 안정과 지속 가능한 발전을 위해 함께 노력하는 계기가 되기를 기대합니다. 대한민국 대표 안전도시 용인 특례시에 대한 여러분의 많은 관심과 응원을 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, also for that video. And I would like to let you know that the Yongin Special City has been awarded the Presidential Commendation for Disaster Management for 2 years in a row. So very impressive achievements there. It's my pleasure now to invite Mr. Ho Kim, who is the Director of Safety in the General Division of Boryeong City, to join us on stage. And Boryeong City joined Making Cities Resilient 2030 in 2023, last year, to strengthen its resilience to climate change and disasters. It is a small city, just 97,000 people on the West Sea coast. It's famous for its annual mud festival and also marine tourism. And the city is working very actively now to mitigate both existing and emerging risks and to ensure and enhance preparedness measures. So we're very eager to hear more about it. Mr. Ho Kim, please.
Hello, I'm Kim, Director of the Safety Department in Boryeong City. I would like to thank the official of the Incheon Metropolitan City, the Ministry of Public Administration and Security, and the United Nations Office of Disaster Risk Reduction for inviting Boryeong City to the Incheon International Disaster Resilience Leaders Forum on international events while you are busy. I hope today's meeting will serve as a foundation for making Boryeong City safer as a resilience hub city. Through the cooperation with the UNDRR, the Ministry of the Public Administration and Security, and many other countries, I would like to begin the presentation to tell you I will actively support to make change that can be felt by all citizens. Boryeong City suffered from wildfire and heavy rain last year, and there was no casualty even in the declaration of a special disaster zone. I'll explain in the order of last year, April wildfire, July heavy rain, and festival safety management. Boryeong City is a city of 9,500 people located on the west coast. It has abundant tourism resources and is the largest tourist city on the west coast with 24.5 billion visitors. Geographically, however, half of the city total area is forested due to regional characteristics such as supplied local heavy rain, which is concentrated in July. There are some areas that are somewhat vulnerable compared to other cities. With the participation of citizens and the sense of duty of employee, we were able to manage this situation without casualties. A wildfire broke out in Cheongnam, Boryeong City around 2 o'clock on April 2nd last year, and immediately moved to the wildfire site. The situation was serious, so we issued a mobilization order for employees and set up on site command headquarters. It was such a huge wildfire that it took 2 days to fully extinguish the blaze after the initial outbreak. Deployed were around 1,500 personnel, including public officials and social organizations, and a lot of extinguishing equipment. In total, there were 13 victims who lost their homes, 97 hectares of forest, and 12 buildings burned down. As of April 5th, a special disaster zone was declared, and 2.2 billion won was invested for damage recovery. This is photography of the wildfire. Despite a sudden mobilization over the holiday, all employees respond, and most of them were dispatched in outdoor clothes to rush hour. Some employees even asked the mayor to buy new shoes, saying their expensive sneakers and shoes were punctured by fire while climbing the mountain with heavy fire hoses. For employees who have struggled to respond to wildfire, 1 day of special leave was given a month later. The total areas affected by the wildfire is 132 hectares, and 1,900 million was invested in help to the area to complete the restoration. For reference, a total of 5 wildfire extinguisher helicopters are now deployed for initial extinguishment of wildfires. We will do your best to prevent a recurrence by learning from the past experience and reflecting on the shortcoming. 2 months after the previous wildfire damage, Boryeong City was once again hit hard by unprecedented heavy rains that lasted 1 month. When they patrolled the downstream area of Boryeong Dam around noon, the discharge of the dam was huge. If it overlapped with the oncoming high tide, the downstream of the dam will overflow, causing great damage to the residents nearby. Therefore, We required the Korean Water Assurance Corporation to reduce the amount of dam discharged. As a result, the stream was not flowed without any residents harmed. Quick and accurate judgment is important. If the discharge was at just rate, it would have caused great damage. 2 days of the heavy rain caused flooring of the underground parking, a lot of the apartments, leaving a lot of damage in facilities. To this end, we continue to hold interviews between the city and apartment residents, proposing state funding for restoration expense to the central government. With this active administration of Boryeong City, for the first time in 23 years, the payment of disaster recovery expense to housing invasion field was confirmed. Boryeong City suffered 9.8 billion won in damage in dollar, as was included in the special disaster area in August. We had property damage even the event of heavy rain disaster, but ended the situation without any casualties. Last year, the 26th Boryeong Bird Festival was held for 17 days, and it successfully with 1.64 million visitors with 60 programs and variety of entertainment. Safety management should be top of priority for large-scale events. The Safety Management Working Committee, composed of experts from various fields, such as fire, electronic, and gas, closely reviews the festival safety management plan and immediately supplement the division sheets. During the event, a joint inspection team was formed to review the safety of the facility structure and the crowd management plan in preparation for new type of social disaster. Boryeong City has solidified its image as a tourist city safe from accidents by achieving zero casualties. During the festival, we drove preparation for safety in preparing for large-scale events. It is important to have repeat training throughout pre-checking and accurate understanding of disaster to prepare for disaster. It is very important for public officials to understand the disaster and familiar with the mission to deal with the disaster situation. After training all employees, I felt that the practitioners were accurate, aware of the duties, with the operation much smoother. According to the Aini dominance theory, if any one of 5 stages of accidents, such as environment, defect, and conditions, is filtered out by prepared safeguards, or terrible disaster accidents can be prevented. Boryeong City is conducting a one-day safety culture movement. Second, every day, a thorough situation management of reporting system are maintained every day to minimize casualty in the event of a disaster. Finally, a safety culture campaign is held once a month to induce citizen interest in disaster and promote them. I hope Boryeong City disaster response case will help to the mayor, country heads, and district heads here. I hope your area will be a safer city without one disaster. And I will end the presentation with that. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kim. I mean, you really shared with us your lessons that you've learned dealing with a range of disasters from wildfires to torrential rains. And unfortunately, with climate change, we know that these are the types of disasters that are going to proliferate. So very grateful that you shared your experiences with us. I would now like to invite Ms. Noraini Roslan, who is the mayor of Klang Royal City in Malaysia, to join me on the podium here. Klang is one of the oldest cities in Malaysia. It's prone to floods, and flood prevention is a key priority for the city. And Ms. Roslan was appointed as the mayor of Klang just a few months ago, January 2024, after serving as the mayor of Subongjaya between 2018 and 2024, which she strove to turn into a smart, safe, green, healthy, and women-friendly city. So very grateful that you've joined us today.
Thank you, Loretta. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The city of Klang is situated about 30 kilometers from the capital city of Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. And it is not only the royal city for the province of Selangor, but also the biggest seaport in Malaysia, and recently achieved the global top number 11 biggest port for container terminal and transshipment hub. Klang's biggest challenge in terms of disaster is flooding, especially during high tide that coincide with heavy rain. Even though normally it is no more than a short-term flash flood, but we were hit very bad in December 2021. I was in Subongjaya at this time, but I have been a Klang resident and I served in Klang for 20 years before I became a mayor for other cities, because in Malaysia, the mayors are appointed by the state government. As I remember, it was a 50-year flood cycle because when I was in primary school, we were hit by the same big flood. And this time, it is made worsen because of the high tide season. And it has hit 3 major cities in our province, Selangor. In Klang alone, it hit 42 areas that were affected, and it involves more than 14,000 victims. There are many steps that were taken to alleviate the problem at that time, but I remember having to clean up the city for more than 2 weeks, involving thousands of volunteers and hundreds of vehicles just to clear the streets and the houses from muds and the debris that comes after the flood. To compare it to other flooding in much worse hit areas in other parts of the world, it is not as bad, but it hit us by surprise, and it affected a lot more people that we can cope with because we are not used to having this kind of a disaster scale. So at this time, economic activities will stop, and we have to open more flood relief area than what we are prepared for. And what we found out is that the local response helped us a lot faster, and mobilization can be done better at the local level, even though the facilities are better at the national and at the provincial level. It is at the local level. Therefore, the strengthening of disaster relief centers and the abilities of local officials at the local level is very, very important in situations like this. We have to do a new plan after the December 2021 flooding, because the old mitigation plan no longer work for us. And 6 major areas are identified to overcome phenomenon like this in the future. The cause were identified as extraordinary rainfall that happens all at once during the few days leading towards the disaster. It clashes with high tide at the seawater level, and the position of the flooded area is lower than the highest level of the river. I guess this is the climate change phenomenon that we have to face in the future, because being a coastal city, we will always be faced with this problem. And with the ozone layer not only thickening, but the holes is already there, and the global warming, my city has been warned that it may be underwater 20, 30 years from now. Number 4, there is the problem with mechanical working of the pump house and the power outage. Even though it happened for a short period of time, the impact is really large. Number 5 is the drainage system that are not capable of coping with that amount of water, that the heavy rainfall and the high tide phenomenon happen. And number 6 is the increase of land development zone, making the area downstream from the river very prone to the water from the upstream. For our city, we have to redo the mitigation plan, and we have a 3-year plan from 2022 to 2024 to quickly alleviate and, as much as possible, prevent the problem from occurring again. For the flood management, it includes 2-pronged action, which is non-structural and also structural. For the non-structural action, it involves the research for river basin and flood barrier, environmentally friendly drainage master plan study, environmentally friendly drainage manual guidelines, network developments of hydrological station that includes a flood warning siren system. Now we have the early warning system up and working, and every day we will receive messages from the flood operation center how the water, the rainfall will be on that particular day, and the warning system that needs to be activated within the district or the local level. Number 4, we develop flood monitoring system, which is web-based. We call it the Selangor Flood Info and the Public Flood Information System. Number 5, the National Flood Warning System and Forecast Program. And number 6, review of dam capacity and operation. All of this non-structural action needs collaboration from the laterally and horizontally. Not only that we depend on the federal or national government to fund our flood prevention program, but also on the monitoring system, but we need to gather and collaborate with all the agencies at the local level just to increase the capacity if such occurrence happens again. What Selangor or the provincial state in Klang have, now what we call Smart Selangor Operation Center, where we have this system of early warning, prediction, and also the CCTV, and also the mobilization of vehicles, personnel, and agencies at the ground level to be done at the speed of as short a period of time to reach the people on the ground. In my city, we form a special unit that we call PANTAS, or in English, a Quick Response Unit, that comprise of 30 people working 24 hours a day, but also that unit can be expanded to involve almost 20 other agencies within the local area, within the city. For the structural action, it involves at least 17 projects to the north of Klang area and 21 projects to the south of Klang area, including the widening and the deepening of the main river or Klang River itself, the construction of dams and flood barriers, the construction of flood retention ponds, construction of water control gates and pump house, and also upgrading of the drainage system. As I have mentioned earlier, we cannot do it by our own financing, but we also need to depend on the provincial government and also the national government in order to do all of these projects. For local financing ability, we are doing the upgrading of the drainage system, the mobile pump operation, the construction of flood retention pond, and for this year alone, I've embarked 3 special area studies for drainage and flood mitigation system that needs to be done for the next few years. What I have learned from this disaster is that communication and preparedness at the local level is very important in order for us to respond quickly to the disaster that might happen, and not only depends on the national or the provincial level to help us with the big machineries and vehicles and the disaster relief. So what we learned in December 2021 is to strengthen either non-governmental based organization or even the district community based, so that we can help each other out in order to relieve the effect of a big disaster like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sharing your experiences of flooding in Klang, Royal City, and also for sharing the lessons that you told us about. I note that because of climate change, we cannot rely on the old plans. The historical data is no longer sufficient. But also, the very important message that's emerging today is the need to invest in capacity building at the local level, because that's where disasters occur and that's where preparedness really needs to be strengthened. So thank you for that. It's my pleasure to now invite Mr. Frederick W. Siao, who's the mayor of Iligan City in the Philippines, to join us on stage here. In 2022, Mr. Siao committed to become one of Mindanao's model resilient cities through the Adopt a City program, which I hope we'll hear a little bit more about. And I'm very eager to hear how Iligan City is going to become a model resilient city. Thank you very much.
Distinguished guests, fellow leaders, and esteemed colleagues, it is an honor to speak before this remarkable assembly of resilience leaders from around the world. I am proud to represent the city of Iligan, located on the northern part of Mindanao, Philippines. Today, with our vision, I will share how our city has embraced innovation, technology, and collaboration to become a leader in disaster resilience, and how our efforts can inspire broader strategies for cities worldwide. At the heart of our story is a simple but powerful belief: resilience begins with preparedness, and preparedness begins with community. Iligan City is home to over 380,000 people and spans 81 hectares across 44 barangays. As what is mentioned, barangays are the smallest component of the government. We are blessed with natural beauty, nestled between Iligan Bay and the rugged landscape of Mindanao. However, this location also presents significant disaster risks and hazards. Our region is prone to floods, fire, and landslides, all exacerbated by climate change. And over the past decades, we have seen these hazards grow in frequency and intensity, threatening lives, livelihood, and infrastructures. In 2011, Typhoon Sendong left an indelible mark on our city, causing widespread damage and loss of lives. This tragedy was a turning point for us. It not only exposes our vulnerabilities, but also ignited our resolve to transform Iligan into a model of disaster resilience. Disaster resilience is not something a single city can achieve alone. It requires collaboration from across all sectors of the society, the local government, the private institutions, the academies, and global partners. Partnerships are key to our resilience strategy. Collaborating with the Office of the Civil Defense, the Department of Interior and Local Government, and the National Resilience Council has enhanced our disaster risk reduction efforts by providing vital scientific data and strategic guidance. We also work with academic institutions like the MSU Iligan to educate communities on disaster risk reduction, and our partnership with the Aboitiz Foundation and Pilmico Foods Corporation further strengthen these initiatives. International frameworks like the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction have guided our strategies in aligning our local goals with global targets. We're deeply committed to making cities resilient 2030 campaign, striving towards a safer and more sustainable future. One of our key achievements has been the revision and implementation of our local disaster risk reduction and management plan, tailored to meet the unique challenges of our city faces. The comprehensive plan prioritizes prevention, preparedness, and response and recovery in the event of a disaster. Through MCR 2030, we assess our risk reduction measures, identified gaps, and implemented target actions to reduce vulnerability and enhance resilience, reinforcing our commitment to a safer, sustainable city. The Iligan Development Goals, or what we call IDGs, this is the local version of the UN SDGs, actually. This is what we did to somewhat put a target to what we should do during our term. This IDG serves as a roadmap for growth and resilience, focusing on infrastructure, the public health, education, environmental conservations, disaster preparedness, and social services. Our key goals includes IDG 12, upgrading drainage systems and flood control measures to prevent flooding during heavy rains and typhoons. And another one is IDG 13, strengthening community disaster response to ensure timely aid and resources during and after disasters. Aligned with the Sendai framework, we focus on reducing the number of people affected by disasters and limiting economic losses. Our vision for 2030 is clear: to build a resilient, safe, and sustainable city that can withstand and recover swiftly from disasters. The future of disaster resilience lies in innovation and technology, and Iligan is embracing this future wholeheartedly. Central to our effort is the DRR Communication Center, which integrates key technological tools like the Rapid Earthquake Damage Assessment System. We call that TREDAS in the Philippines. This system enables swift assessment of earthquake impacts, facilitating faster responses and damage mitigation. Additionally, the e-Citizen application empowers citizens to report incidents, receive disaster alerts, and access vital informations, enhancing public engagement and transparency. At the core of our disaster response effort is the Iligan City Incident Command Center. As part of our Smart City innovation, it is a state-of-the-art facility that centralizes disaster management operations and ensures real-time coordination among stakeholders. Equipped with CCTV, cameras, and supported by artificial intelligence, it monitors critical areas and identifies emerging risks during emergencies. While technology plays a critical role, we believe in investing in continuous training and capacity building for our disaster response teams, ensuring that they are fully prepared to utilize these advanced systems and respond effectively in case of emergencies. At the core of our success in Iligan are the 3 C's: communication, collaboration, and coordination. Communication, timely, means timely and accurate information is crucial for saving lives. We ensure that early warnings reach all corners of the city through various channels, from traditional media to digital platforms. Clear communication can make the difference between life and death. Collaboration, no city is an island. We engage with national government, local businesses, academic institutions, and international partners to build a resilient network. These partnerships provide essential resources and expertise for disaster preparedness and recovery. And lastly, coordination. The Incident Command Center system ensures clarity in roles and responsibility, facilitating synchronized efforts across all levels of government and society for efficient disaster response. As we gathered here at the International Disaster Resilience Leaders Forum 2024, let us remember that our efforts are not just about building stronger cities. They are about saving lives, protecting futures, and empowering communities. We have seen firsthand the devastation that disaster can cause, but we have also witnessed the power of resilience by combining innovation, collaboration, and community engagement. We have laid the groundwork for a safer, more resilient future. As we look ahead to 2030 and beyond, I urge my fellow leaders here today, let us continue to share our knowledge, leverage our partnerships, and drive innovations to make resilience a reality for all cities across the globe. Together, we can build a world where cities are not just prepared to survive disasters, but to thrive in the face of adversity. Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you so much for those inspiring words, and I really took home 2 messages: the 3 C's, communication, collaboration, and coordination, but also a phrase that you use, which I'm going to remember: resilience begins with preparedness, and preparedness begins with community. So thank you for sharing the experiences of Iligan City. Our last presentation is from Zhuji City in China. It is a video recording of Mr. Johnny Huang, who is the special advisor for resilience in the city. Zhuji City is one of the first 6 cities from China that joined MCR 2030 last year. And in early 2024, it was recognized as the first MCR 2030 resilience hub in China. So this is a great accomplishment. And the city has demonstrated leadership in smart city concepts, flood management, emergency response, and also sustainable financing, which we know is incredibly important. So let us please now move to the presentation from Zhuji City, China.
Zhuji City is located in the central Zhejiang province, surrounded by mountains with higher terrain in the south and lower in the north. The Puyang River traverses through it, with the main stream extending nearly 70 kilometers within the city. Additionally, there are 8 tributaries branching out like leaf veins. Since recorded history, generations along the Puyang River's banks have lived and thrived alongside this river. However, due to its winding and narrow channel and low-lying terrain of Zhuji, the Puyang River has long been known as the Little Yellow River of Zhejiang.
The management of the Puyang River Basin has constantly followed the approach of upstream storage, midstream diversion, downstream discharge. Since the 1950s and 1960s, Joonkee has built a series of large, medium, and small reservoirs, such as Shibi, Anhua, Qingshan, and Wuxie.
Zhuji's journey towards becoming a resilient city began with water management initiatives in the 1950s and 1960s. In the 1990s, under the theme of building a 100-mile-long embankment to protect millions of lives, specialized management of Puyang River Basin began. At the same time, citywide flood control and emergency response were implemented. The water management process in Zhuji strikes an optimal balance between safety, resources, and the environment, forming a comprehensive urban defense system centered around flood control and drainage.
As a national ecological garden city, it has developed an ecological water system that integrates flood control, landscaping, and ecology. This has not only improved the ecological environment of the river basin, but also provide resistance with places for leisure, fitness, and recreation.
As we move into the 21st century, Zhuji City has leveraged on modern information technology to establish a digital urban management system that features automatic sensing, observable scenarios, intelligent analysis, standardized operations, and efficient collaboration. The city upgraded and installed hydrological remote sensing facilities, increasing the monitoring rate of hazardous weather to 96%.
Social governance in Joonkee has also played a critical role in building a resilient city. Government departments have taken the lead by formulating policies and plans and increasing investment. Businesses have also fulfilled their social responsibilities, with citizens actively participating. An emergency response system has been established, comprising top-level command, resource reserves, and a grassroots networks.
The city of Zhuji was built by the water. It has prospered and become beautiful because of the water. Zhuji has become a city that blends with nature, where lush mountains can be seen and lucid waters inside, where disasters can be prevented and the sense of nostalgia is preserved. It is a prosperous and thriving new city.
Huang, Special Advisor of Resilience for the City of Zhuji. Over the years, we have identified a few key challenges that our city needs to address in order to counter disaster risk reduction. First is the lack of a clear blueprint for resilience building. And second is our ability to sense and respond to disasters. Another challenge is funding. Lastly, we need to improve public awareness and engagement. So how do we tackle these challenges? Before going into the details, let me share a little bit about Zhuji. Our city has an incredible history that goes back over 4,000 years. The main urban area sits along the Puyang River. Unfortunately, the river has low banks and the narrow channels, making it prone to flooding. Over the last 75 years, we've experienced major floods every 3 to 4 years. And since 2000, we've taken a proactive approach to address these challenges. First is we develop a long-term plan. We have launched the comprehensive management of the Puyang River project to align all stakeholders on resilience planning and execution to make sure that everybody is on the same page. And consequently, our flood control measures and now equipped to manage a once in 50-year flood. Another priority is to improve our emergency response capabilities. We have set up 7 radar stations, improving our monitoring and extending early warning to severe weather up to 65 minutes. There are 368 automated hydraulic stations along the Puyang River that provide important flood management data. Over 100 million yuan has been invested in a smart water conservatory system, which monitors and automates all levees and reservoirs in the city and issues early flood warnings at shorter intervals. All these data streams are shared across all levels of governments and other key stakeholders, including our neighboring cities and provinces. On the funding side, we have created a 4 sources of contribution model. In just the last 3 years, we have secured 1.3 billion in subsidized funding from the central and provincial governments. We issued 1.4 billion in bonds for resilience project. We obtained 2 billion yuan in policy loans, received another 1 billion from corporate donations, and garnered another 332 million yuan from community donations. This model combines money from all levels of governments, corporate investments, land transfer fees, and community funding. And then speaking about community engagement is another priority for us. We have started the river chief system where the mayor oversees river and the lake management system. But we've also launched community initiatives such as the Water Protection Cavalry, which is a group of over 200 volunteer river chiefs who patrol our waterways constantly. We actively engage with residents to understand their concerns by enhancing sewage collection systems, improving the overall environment, and developing riverside facilities and parks. We foster a connection between the residents and their water environment. We are also exploring economic opportunities related to water and revitalizing riverbank resources to boost local incomes. In the past 3 years, the riversides have attracted over 2.6 million tourists and bringing over 280 million yuan of additional revenue for those residents living alongside the riverbanks. So through all these efforts, Zhuji is able to build resilience against increasingly severe climate changes. But we need to take actions together with other cities and communities throughout the world. With concrete steps, we can counter the climate risks together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this concludes our presentations today. I would really like to thank all of our presenters. As we can see, cities are grappling with torrential rains, floods, wildfires, and as our last speaker mentioned, it's so important that cities learn from each other, that you share experiences, and that together we confront a climate future which will bring more disasters, but with it will also bring more resolve to ensure resilience for all. Thank you all very much, and looking forward to seeing you at the reception.